Welcome back to another recording of the Elevate Media Podcast. I'm Chris Anderson, your host. Today, I brought on Michael Preston, who's going to share just a little bit about his journey and how he's grown his business in the ad space. We're going to learn a little bit about how to be better at ads. If you're putting ads out or thinking about, putting some money behind your stuff to get it out there to more people, we're going to get some information from Michael today. So, Michael, welcome to the Elevate Media Podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Chris.
Absolutely. So, out of everything in business, right? Marketing, SEO, websites, you're in ads. Why is that? Why did you choose the ad space?
Yeah, I mean, I've done pretty much everything in the marketing space. I mean, we do a lot of other services as well, but the ad side has kind of been what I've gravitated to over the years. I think having more control over, traffic sources and, testing and different things like that makes it a lot more interesting because a little bit more fast paced. So, for example, like SEO or social media, you're kind of just like hoping that things turn into something and, it takes time and all that. So the ad space is a little bit different. You're bringing in traffic immediately and, you're seeing what people do. You're seeing what people are searching. You're seeing, all the things in real time. So it makes it more interesting and, you kind of have to make decisions quicker as far as, what direction to go with things and to fix things that aren't working and all that. So,
yeah, when you say getting that quicker, so that is interesting. So let's say you created an ad, and I'm guessing we're assuming that the person that's doing the ad knows who they're marketing to. So they have an understanding of their market. What do you mean by, you might have to change it quickly or you might need to be quick on changes to that ad?
Yeah. So for instance, let's say Google advertising, you start running ads and you start noticing that searches similar to what you tried to put yourself out there for are coming up, but there's something completely different. Basically, you have to take those and put those as negative keywords. So you could be having, let's say, for instance, like we have a client who does hard money loans, right? And we just recently launched for him a campaign. And because we were, doing a certain type of targeting that's related to like private loans and loans in general, he started showing up for like payday loans and things like this. So if you are in a space like that where the cost per click is a little bit higher than, something that's in more of like an e-commerce space, then you can burn through a lot of money pretty quickly if you're not paying attention. Additionally, there's things like with your website. If you don't realize there's certain issues with the website and people are coming there and they're not able to do something, things happen with people's sites. There's bugs and things that can happen along the way. So you just want to make sure that everything is functioning properly. And, so
there's a lot more to it. So I think Facebook ads, Meta, all that. Google sounds like there's a little bit more involvement, a little bit more levels to it than Facebook and social media ads. Is that true, or is it just?
You can see a little bit more of what people are doing. So with Google, you can see search terms that are happening in real time. So you could look at like what searches you showed up for today versus on Meta, like Instagram and Facebook, where you're pretty much just seeing like where you're targeting based off of interest and location and that sort of thing, but you're not as much able to see like how you came up. So
gotcha.
It definitely gives you a little bit more transparency with all of that. So it's pretty interesting, but both sides are interesting, just different types of advertising.
Yeah. So you couldn't use two of the same, like you couldn't use the same quote unquote post on both platforms, or could you? You just had to tweak some things for Google versus Facebook.
You can for YouTube. So if you do like video ads, you can do them on YouTube, part of Google's ad platform.
Okay.
But like Google search ads are probably one of the best out of all, depending on what you're doing. Search ads, shopping ads, those are both really great. YouTube ads are great as well, but just different type. It's more along the lines of advertising on like Meta. So
gotcha. So the search ads in Google, you're meaning like when you search something, it's like one of the top like sponsored. Is that correct, or am I off on that?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the shopping is at the very top when you're searching for products.
Yeah.
They come up there at the top, and it's got like the pictures and the price, kind of like how Amazon has all of their products up there. So
Yeah. Okay. So is there, when people like, obviously this is why people pay people to do some of this, because it can probably get pretty tricky with, like you said, the negative keywords and words you don't want to show up for, and your pixel and everything like that, and you don't want to burn through money. So if someone is trying to go at this on their own, are there anything recommendations you would give them so they can maybe start out and not completely just burn through all their investment?
yeah. So I would say probably number one would be to watch a lot of YouTube videos. I would say the first things to learn about would be, building a solid foundation with their website. So going to YouTube and searching for website conversion optimization. That's probably going to be number one, basically because that's, making sure the foundation is good. If you have a website that doesn't have a clear conversion strategy to it, then it's not really going to have any kind of results happen. You could have a beautiful website, but if there's no system to bring them in and turn them into a customer, then you're just going to be wasting money and traffic to the website. So that part is number one, which is going to be going through how the website should be laid out. So like where phone numbers and contact forms or quote forms or products, and what those products should have on them with reviews and all these different types of things. Then from there, you would want to watch a video on how to create ads. So how to set those up, how to do your targeting, and then how to launch those as well. And then the other part that you would want to also go along with that is how to set up your tracking, because you want to make sure the tracking's all set up. If you don't have any tracking, then Google's platform is not going to know what's working and what's not. So they're not going to be able to show the right ads that are performing better than the others. So tracking is really important. And if you have like a local service-based business and you get phone calls and phone calls is your main lead source, then you want to have call tracking as well. So a program like CallRail is super important so that it can check where the phone numbers are coming from. So because you want to have conversions being tracked for phone calls as well as for lead forms or quote forms, and then for sales also. So you want to have Google Merchant Center set up. So you probably want to watch a little video on that. But if you've got Shopify for an e-commerce store, it's pretty simple to set up Google Merchant Center. Beyond that, I would recommend watching videos on reviewing analytics and reports and things, so where you kind of understand what's working, what's not. And the main thing to look for is, the return on your ad spend, or ROAS. So once you got all that info, you can run with some small ads, but you just want to make sure that you've got like daily budgets set that are not going to, end up just burning through too much money. So
with that, like, what is a good starting budget? Like, once you go through those steps, what would you say is a good kind of budget to start out with?
Yeah, it really depends on the type of business and what the objective is. Some people will try to start running ads and think that they can throw a couple $100 a month at it and it's going to do something. The thing is, you have to look at how much the cost per click is, and then calculate out, what kind of sales you should expect based off of the conversion rate on your website or average conversion rates. And then you'll understand better as to, what you can expect from that. But I usually tell people minimally, even for like the smallest brand new business, you don't want to go really any less than like 500 to 1,000 a month for the first couple months, just to get your feet wet and kind of get things rolling. But if you're spending more than that, I wouldn't recommend doing it yourself anyways, because if you're going to be spending that much money, you want to make sure that you've got somebody that can review it professionally and make sure you're going in the right direction.
Yeah. And with that, was like, if someone was come to like an agency like yours, how did they usually set it up? Is it they pay a certain amount and then you guys do the work, or do you guys get a percentage of the revenue that's brought in from the ads, or how does that usually set up with a business like yours?
Yeah, for ours, we do it based on tiered pricing based on how much they're spending. Every agency or every individual is different. Some people do it based on percentage. Some people do flat rate. It all depends. We do it tiered. so that it's better for the customer. Our clients can do lower budgets and not have to spend a super high rate. So yeah, it's based on how much they're spending per month, and then we charge to build out the ads, and then we charge a monthly fee after that to manage them. So, and that fee increases based on the ad spend, which is based on, you're getting more clicks, there's more negative keywords to review, there's more searches to review, and there's more things that could go wrong as well. So it's a lot more risk involved. So we have to really make sure that we have enough time to be able to allocate to it.
Gotcha. Makes sense. So, when businesses, is there a point where they need to start thinking about ads, or is there a time where they need to just kind of hold off and continue to do organic up to a certain spot?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, for me personally, if I'm starting a business, I want to see the business grow. Some people just want like a certain amount of income and, they're happy with that. Maybe it's a side project. But if someone's actually trying to scale the business and turn it into something, I would recommend starting from scratch with ads right away. If I create a new product or service that I want to offer, I'm going to be testing it from day one. So that's, you're building the website, you're going to put everything together, you're going to put out your offering, and then you're going to build out some ads and see how those go. If they don't do well within the first couple of weeks, then you got to go back to the drawing board and figure out what's wrong, and then, start running ads again. So I personally think that it's something that should be started straight away from the beginning, depending on what type of business it is. Obviously, some businesses may not do as well with advertising, but yeah.
Well, so with that, like say a business is starting out doing some ads, or they decided to jump in and start doing ads, what do you see right now, at least, converting well as far as an ad goes? Is there a specific layout, structure of the ad, and what does that kind of look like that gets maybe the best reviews or clicks through?
Yeah. Well, it depends on which type of ad. So for like video ads, let's say on Meta, a lot of the stuff that works really well is video content that looks like it could fit just normally within your friends' feeds or people that you follow.
Okay.
So it's, like an individual talking about the product or talking about their experience, walking them through what their experience was like, and kind of like a general review video, like what you would see on TikTok or Instagram Reels or something like that. A lot of times that stuff works really well. So I would recommend if you're gonna create a video, to do something along those lines. It doesn't have to be, like a fully produced video. It could just be a video like that, where it's an individual talking, like a user-generated content kind of video. As far as the text goes, so one thing I would recommend for people who might just be starting out would be to jump in and use something like ChatGPT or an AI program to fill out some copy for them. And you could give it a prompt like, write me some copy that will convert well for an ad, and this is my product, this is what we offer, here's the features and benefits of our product. Or you could even ask, what are the features and benefits of the product that it thinks? And a lot of times it can come up with that information. And that would be a good starting point, because, in order to understand everything from a big picture, it might be difficult for somebody that's just starting out. But using a program like that, they can then fine tune it after. So they can write it up and then put it in their own type of tone to have some general type of structure to go with it.
Yeah, and that's great, because ChatGPT AI is becoming such a more prevalent tool to be able to use. With that too, you mentioned making sure the copy fits on the product or service. But do you find ads do better if they're not necessarily selling directly, but maybe leading people towards a lead magnet? Do those do better than the direct, hey, here's my thing, do you want it, kind of like the free thing to lead into the funnel, or the actual service itself?
Yeah, that does well also, but it's just a different type of approach. A lot of times we'll do that side by side. So there'll be some sort of lead magnet that goes with with the ads, but it'll be going to like a different landing page, or just be, part of what their pop-up is on their website. And it happens through that with like an email drip sequence that happens after. So, like having automation and all that set up, it's important if you're going to do a lead magnet.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you're not following up with those emails that you're capturing, and, just in case anybody doesn't understand what a lead magnet is, it's like if you're giving a free guide, right? So,
Yeah.
To have on the website with a pop-up that's like, learn how to manage your money better, or learn how to, like for instance, because we were talking about the hard money loan thing.
Yeah.
It could be about like navigating private lending and for real estate investing or something like that, or navigating funding for real estate investing. Download it by putting in your email, and then they get that in their email, and then having a series of emails that go out after that walk them through a series of calls to action to get them to book an appointment with someone on the team. So, yeah, I mean, it definitely works well, but it's just something that we usually do in tandem with what we're doing. So, but yeah, it's worked well to generate emails and to build out an email list for sure.
And now a lot of people who listen to the show, or majority, might have podcasts. Do you see ads directing people to listen to podcasts do well still as just like kind of a lead magnet, or do you see less of those kind of ads out there?
Haven't really had much experience with that. I've ran ads for a podcast in the past. This was probably like 6 years ago or so, but it was more of an entertainment podcast. It was an actress that made this podcast about her life growing up. It was like a series of podcasts going through that. So we were able to send a lot of traffic in there. Then that was just through, I think, Facebook ads to like a landing page. But as far as like sending people into a podcast prior to getting them clients, I imagine that it would work really well. Yeah, to bring them in and they can listen to, to target people based on what that particular podcast was about, and then target their interests and all that. Maybe even show like clips of the podcast and then link to it.
Yeah, because with Facebook Meta, you can take an ad and can you retarget those who like took action on it? Is that possible?
Yeah, you can retarget people who took action. You could retarget people who've been to a certain website. You can retarget people who who watched more than a certain amount of your video. So if you have video ads playing to a large audience, then you can retarget people who watched any of those videos over, let's say, 50%. So they would, recognize your face or recognize the brand and all that. So then you can hit them again and obviously get closer to bringing them down the funnel.
Gotcha. And with that on Meta, that's within their business suite, right? You can do all that in the background of the business suite.
Like which suite? What do you mean?
Within Meta to create the ads, is it called their business suite, or is it changed name?
I get what you're saying. Yeah. I think it might be called business suite now. I think there's like one version that they changed up to be called business suite.
Or ads and now I think it's changed a lot.
Yeah, Facebook changes stuff so much, and they have so many different names for things.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can do that in the Facebook, because it used to be Facebook Business Manager. I think it might still be. I don't even know anymore.
Yeah.
Now it's Meta and everything else. So
Right. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, you can do all that in the back end there. So you just want to make sure you have your pixel set up properly, and then.
So what is a pixel for those who don't know?
Yeah, pixel. So that's setting up the code on your website that basically syncs all of the data with Meta, so that I can see what's happening on your website, and then give that back to Meta to use for Facebook and Instagram ads. But that includes things like, page views, ads to cart, purchases, purchase value. Those are majority, like lead, contact, submission. You can also make some custom ones too, like certain thank you pages and things like that. But for the most part, you just want to use all the basics, and it's pretty easy to integrate into a website like Shopify or WordPress.
Gotcha. I mean, this has been a lot of good information. I think people probably like mine, the minds are just running with what you could do with ads now. To kind of round things out though, I know you kind of said the three things you could do to get started. So obviously not doing those would be a mistake, but what mistakes, some big mistakes have you seen people make when they tried to run ads on their own?
Yeah, I think the biggest mistake is not optimizing their website or not making sure that their website has the certain things that it needs. I'll see it a lot of times with people that they'll think that their ads are doing decent and the website's like missing a phone number at the top when the phone number is the most important part they've got at the bottom of the site. No call to action, or when you land on the website, there's no immediate understanding of what the business is even doing. They just have a picture and a logo and the text at the top, and it's like, okay, well, like, what am I looking at? So when people click from an ad, they're super confused. I think that's probably the biggest issue, because if you're bringing people into the website and you're doing the right targeting for the most part, which is usually a part that people do know what they're doing, like they know the interests or they know what kind of searches people are going to be looking up for their type of business, but they don't usually know, how to present that on the website properly. Gotcha. So some people do, but a lot of times people don't really have a good idea of how to lay that out.
Yeah. In your opinion, should a website be just one page, or should you have like the menu to go to different pages or whatnot?
For a new business, yeah, one page is fine as long as you have different sections on there that go through, the entire pitch basically. So you've got, all the information about the company, you've got all the calls to action, what their services or products are, how that works, testimonials or case studies, some social proof, maybe like five-star badges for Google and Yelp if it's a local business, or the star ratings for the products, some kind of discount so that way that you can capture their email, and maybe a gallery or link to like the feed for their Instagram or social media accounts. And then if it's like a service-based business, then having like a lead form on there, like the quote form. So when they click on any of the buttons that say, excuse me, get a quote or get more info or something along those lines, or like get started, then it takes them down to that quote form, and then they fill it out, and then the person gets the lead. Gotcha. So basically, as long as they have all that information, I'm not sure if I missed anything there, but that's the majority of what's necessary to have on that page. As long as you have all that on there and it's cleanly laid out and looks good and professional, then as long as you're doing good targeting, you should, and the correct messaging in the ads, then you'll be able to get some leads or to make some sales there.
Nice, awesome. Well, Michael, this has been awesome. Again, a lot of great, valuable information you've given everybody to kind of go out there and get started at least before, or if they're ready, to get somebody's help. Where can they connect with you to maybe get your help or just find out more about what you guys do?
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, if anybody's looking for, an additional eye to look at things, or looking for some feedback, anything like that, feel free to reach out. Our website is pinksharkmarketing.com, pink like the color, shark like the animal, marketing.com. You can reach out to us there, fill out a form, or call us, and we'd be happy to take a look and see where things are at. And, there's no obligation to reaching out or anything. If anybody just wanted to kind of talk about it and see what that would look like, we'd be more than happy to jump on a quick call.
Awesome. Well, yeah, if you guys are liking what you're hearing, you learned anything from Michael, and you're interested in ads, definitely reach out, get connected with him, and just see where it goes from there. But again, Michael, appreciate you today, and thanks so much for being on the Elevate Media Podcast.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me, Chris.